always had that availability. If somebody needed a permit because they didn't realize they needed one and they're all of a sudden doing something, I guess, you know, I don't know if we need that for the ad, but we need to consider how we're going to do part-time versus what we're used to, because I've never been in a part-time system to be able to give you any suggestions.
I mean, is there zoning caught up now? I mean, he seems to be caught up with
He
zoning.
seems to be.
I
don't know.
In fact, I think he even went home early one day, and he's working 2 3-hour days. So unless it gets busier, I think 2 days a week would be plenty. And the people have called me wanting to know, and I say call Sharon and and she'll tell you when he's in or whatever. And
yeah, but that's for him. But I'm talking about, all right, when we bring somebody in for a job, we need to explain to them what their duties are, what they're expected to do. If we decide that the zoning officer is going to be here Tuesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., you know, we need to, as hiring somebody, we need to try to establish some type of game plan for them. And here again, this is, you know, we're looking to take resumes by February 29th. We meet once a month. We need to get ahead of the ball on this.
well, the 29th.
What we're expecting that person we're going to interview. I would expect in March we'd be trying to set up interviews, but we need to know what we want to do before we interview somebody. But we need to give thought to that. That's all I'm pointing out. Hiring an engineer is different. You know, they work on that kind of basis and they're available. But if you hire a part-time person and they're working another part-time job, you know, you got to be prepared for that.
Okay. Well, we'll have to decide the hours.
Well,
I mean, I don't think it's a problem. Set the days and see who applies, and I mean, talk to them too. They may have a good idea.
Normally, when you have a planning commission, the zoning officer is the liaison with the planning commission. Is that going to be part of this person's duties, or?
yes, it will. Yes. We should add that to the advertisement.
Maybe attendance or something like that.
Maybe.
Do we need a motion to place an ad? That's just business that we can do.
You might as well just do a motion just to cover it.
Or you want to talk about the engineering too, and just doing one motion?
Yeah, similar advertisement for engineering services. And it would read, Benner Township seeks individual or firms to provide engineering support for both ongoing engineering requirements and special project. Township intends to qualify and select one or more individuals or firms to provide services as required by township activity. Please forward letters of interest including qualifications, experience, rate structure, proposed professional assignment, and any possible conflict of interest within the township. Reserve the right to reject any or all bids. I think the key on here is to be in a position to qualify one or more that we are able to.
Yeah, I don't think we need to make a decision like you're doing when you're hiring a zoning officer. I think.
So those are draft ads, adding the liaison to the planning commission language to the zoning officer. But I would make the motion that we place those ads. And
I would amend that ad also to say that supervisors meetings for the zoning officer.
okay, that's a good
They
point.
have to present to us sometimes when they have those gray areas.
All right, as amended then. I make that motion.
I'll second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Last item of old business is Beezer Hill Road closing. This is an ongoing.
Second.
Oh, sorry, second to last. I have talked just briefly with Bill McMath about the possibility or the real benefit of coordinating with Spring Township as we get the developer back up here to work through a schedule or a plan to try to get this get this done this summer. They're gonna get this done this summer. So there's no action here, it's just, getting that coordinated and getting him in to tell us what his thoughts are. Another piece of old business then is the Kepler Pool Recreational Authority. This is a follow-up to a whole series of discussions that have been going on to consider the formation of an independent recreation authority to take over ownership and operation of the Kepler swimming pool. The issues with the pool are many. It's 41 years old now. It will not pass certain requirements for ADA compliance and water circulation and filtration, so it needs some money spent on it. And the thinking is that by doing it right, by really upgrading it and modernizing it, that it can become a much more vibrant attraction, and if we are able to use the center region, the state college pools as any kind of a gauge, it could triple its usage and be in a position to raise its fees a little bit, thereby paying for the money that would have to be invested in it. It's a big investment. The changes that are being proposed are anywhere from $1.5 to $1.9 million to modernize it, to bring it forward, to add 30 years to the life of the pool. So the discussion that is underway is to explore the formation of a recreational authority. The authority would be composed of the member townships and Bellefonte Borough. Currently, those member townships would be, or in discussion, are Benner and Spring and Walker and possibly Marion. An authority would then own the pool, and the authority would borrow the money to refurbish and upgrade the pool, and the authority would make the decisions on who would operate it and how the funding would work. So I think it's a great idea. I think it's probably it's the only way that it's likely that this pool is going to be saved, to move it into such an environment. And I think the next steps are to, if we are in favor of this as a township, to make our wishes known and to join with the other townships in the Bellefonte Borough to develop the costs and the process and the timetable to form the authority. And that would certainly include voting structure and membership structure and cost sharing, expense sharing, cost sharing, revenue sharing calculations. So that sounds like that's a process that's going to take several months at least to reach a point where we would know what the authority would look like, and we would know what the township obligation might be. So, thoughts on the recreational authority?
I'd like to make sure every other township's involved. I mean, you know, this authority, and because if I understand it right, the authority's paying it, but if they don't pay it, the townships are paying it. I mean, is that
we might end up, we're going to be, depends whether right now the state college pools pay for their operation, and they made $150,000 on top of that, but they have an $8 million debt.
Right.
So that the surrounding members of COG are paying towards that debt. It doesn't pay all the capital costs. So we need to find out what Benner's involvement is then, because we probably will be paying towards the pool throughout the life of the loan. You know, I brought up, well, you know, I think Spring Creek Canyon qualifies for the same type of consideration. Maybe not just to be supported by these townships, but by supporting it and then going to COG, State College, and showing everybody's behind this, So that's my input there, and I think we just walk through the process with everybody and see what's proposed.
Yeah, I'd like to see it go
Yeah,
forward.
I agree with you, John. I think that if we're able to demonstrate that a rec authority works on a swimming pool, then it's gonna be a much easier extension to add it to the canyon or whatever regional things may come up. But this seems like a pretty discreet way to start.
Now we just work through it and see what they come up with. I mean, if they come up and say Benner's gotta pay 80% of the loan, then we're not gonna do it.
Well, yeah, see, well,
So
obviously,
we gotta just see what their structure is and what they're looking for.
do they need a letter from us or something, or what are they looking for?
I think they're just gonna let us know in the next meeting
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure that they're looking for a formal letter.
Okay.
But while we're here, is there anyone here that has,
Who owns it now, Dave? Who owns the fee to the land and the pool?
Bellefonte Borough.
Bill
Borough, but it's on
And
Spring
what
Township.
Bellefonte
Well,
Borough's
it's in Spring Township, but it's not
proposal,
owned.
attitude, or request?
Bellefonte Borough is talking about deeding the pool to the recreational authority.
And they don't have to offer it to any other nonprofits
It's not my
under
understanding.
Commonwealth law?
Not that I know of, but that's we can
Well,
ask
it's
that
like-
question.
It's
We
like
can ask that-
surplus law or what have you.
can ask
Probably
that
the
question.
funding for it is so old that there wasn't any, or there weren't any hooks back then.
But also on that, yeah, they're gonna retain partial ownership of it and be paying on it, so I don't know if that would apply, because they're not totally giving it away. They're involved in the authority that's gonna
Well,
take the
yeah,
That
transfer.
was part of my question, John.
Yeah, but we'll ask that. I'll make sure we ask that as we go through the process. Good question.
The other, at least at one time, was that what was the Bellefonte YMCA, which is now YMCA of Center County, was asked to build a pool or was part of their relocation, if you will, and wondering where that stands, because their pool unto itself is not adequate to fulfill their ultimate desires. I'm not speaking for them, but just.
It's my
going back in
understanding, because
history.
they were at the meeting, that they would love to continue to run it, but once the authority's formed, they'll have to be formally asked to do that. But it's my understanding that the current manager of all three Ys now who was the original
No, it's
director.
only one Y now.
Yeah, but I mean, who was the original director of Bellefonte, is now is in favor of continuing the management of the
Howard Long.
Yeah. So,
They don't seem to have linked the indoor Y pool to this process in any direct
No,
way.
he's gonna replace it. I think he's gonna
Yeah.
supersede it.
Uh,
It's gonna be
One thing I
Olymp-
can tell you is
Olympic
that
style, it was gonna be Olympic size.
it's gonna be the same pool, it's the same size.
You mean a new pool that was built?
The new pool
Yeah.
was being proposed
okay.
as an
Right.
Olympic size, which is not the case of, quote, the old State College YMCA pool. It's only 3/4 Olympic and is not,
this would not be a
Qualified
wide
for
facility, but the
competition.
Y's interesting in operating the outdoor pool.
which may jockey up your $1.9 million.
Now, it's more designed to be an amusement park type of stay vacation type of thing.
The water parks are great.
I think you have slides and everything.
You bet.
Yeah,
Slides, water features, one of the big things that they talked a lot about from the center region pool is these youth water, or the little kid water features that don't involve standing water, that aren't much to put in and seem to really increase participation.
Sprinklers.
Sprinklers, and they have flowers that shoot. One thing I can tell you, if it helps in any way, is